Tonight's tactical enhancement is a ninja. Tonight we're playing Warhammer, the old world, and a slight variation on the table that I used for the last game against Doug's Tomb Kings. And we've got the demons out again. This time they're against Sean's obnoxious dwarf army using the Expeditionary Force rules.
Yes.
Sean, talk us through this shit show you brought for our entertainment.
Okay, so we've started off with some scout gyrocopters with clatter guns. They got Vanguard, they can move 20 inches and still shoot.
Oh god.
Hitting on
That's
fours.
the scouts, right.
These are two models I've had for 20 years and haven't been able to use. They're going to be my organ guns for tonight. In the Expeditionary Force, if you reduce the toughness of your cannons and organ guns, they can actually move and shoot. So these are both organ guns. Then I have 3 cannons. Also, they can move and shoot. The toughness will be 6 instead of 7.
And these are some seriously old school cannon. Where the hell did you get these from?
1993, 94. I ordered them in from England. There's most of this.
Wow, and that's actually Games Workshop cannons?
Yes.
Wow.
Very old. Yeah. So we got 2 units of 16 expeditionary handgunners, which can move and shoot without penalty. Full command. I have 2 units of regular.
I noticed you've all got the Santa hat ones, because I've got some of these as well.
I've got only a couple of Santa hats, but yes.
I painted mine red.
And then I've got 2 units of 8 handgunners. They suffer -2 to move and shoot. Then I have 2 units of scouting rangers. I have 2 sappers which can dig in units, put a small linear wall at the beginning of the command phase, and can cause you to take difficult terrain tests if you're within command range at the end of your turn.
Sounds annoying.
A runesmith with 2 dispel scrolls. The Thane. There's no Lord level characters, by the way, in this army.
Right.
It's a Thane. He's tonight. He's armed with the magic one, Michael Jackson wand of shooting.
No, really.
He's got accuracy. He hits on 3 regardless of what he does or where you're hiding.
Right.
He shoots twice, and he also, when he hits, he does 2d3 hits. So he can potentially do 4d3 hits, strength 4, AP1.
Charming.
And then we have I've got 2 engineers.
So these are the actual real engineer miniatures. Where are they? Let me get them in focus.
So he's going to be my sniper. He's got 2 shots with accuracy, so he hits on a 2+, and he has 2 shots. And he's just a regular engineer with a handgun.
Alright, the lighting's a bit dicky. I'm not showing you very well, but we'll get more shots of them as the game progresses.
Okay. And it's
And then we've got a bunch of palisades for them. Alright, so Sean did warn me that he was bringing this horrible thing. I'd seen a version of it he was playing around with. This is basically a tournament list. You take this not to win the Sportsmanship Award, as he made very clear, but to try and win an actual game. So I thought, well, fuck it. I've got no idea what to do about this shit. So I thought I'd take the demons. I only barely got an idea of how to use these. So I've taken the big boy, bin chicken, level 4. I'll come around here to film actually. So yep, level 4. He'll be coughing up some spells. We've got this guy done up as level 3. He's useless in a fight, but he'll run around and cast some spells and be a general nuisance. 2 units of 9, 9 is the magic number, of course. It's also the minimum you can take. So 2 units of 9 blue horrors. 3 units of 9 pink horrors with champions, and that brings them up to the minimum 500 odd points that I need a core. Then we've got 2 units of 4 hypercolor t-shirts, just doing what they do. And then we've got 3 units of 4 flamers with champions to bring the points up. So I'm just about 8 points below the limit. We're playing a 2,000 point game. I haven't taught up any of these guys to have characters because I don't really have the surplus points once you get the minimum amount of stuff you want in play. And that's it. I've got no idea how this is going to go. Sean's very accomplished with his dwarf army. We had a dwarf versus dwarf army once in 8th edition. I'll learn a few fucking things as what you can and can't do with them. And I'm expecting this to be horrific.
Well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I think you're... we'll see if you can flank me and get me to shoot me out off the table, which is, I think, your best bet. And you...
I'm hoping to do some horrible things in return.
Yes. I don't know what your flaming guys do here. How many shots do they have? Die 6?
These guys? D3.
Each. Is it multiple shots?
Yep.
With skill of...
4, I think, for those guys.
That's not too bad. Then you're going to be hitting
They're quick
on 4s
shots, so you can move and shoot without penalty.
So 4s generally...
5s on the move. So 5 at long range.
5 at range. So that's strength 3 or 4.
Those ones are 4.
That's good. That's actually...
The other one's a ballistic skill 3, strength 3, I think.
They can do quite a lot of damage.
Yep, so we'll see what we can do. Well, on that note, I think it may be time to roll a few dice, get our deployment up and running. We'll check in after that. And we're deployed. And Sean had to put everything down first. I won that roll. So he's not sure if it's going to help, but he's got a whole, he's got a small holding force over here. Some regular handgunners, a cannon, they're probably going to move. Choppers, going to be a nuisance, an engineer there, or whatever they are. Yes, an engineer, and a bunch of the upgraded shooters. A whole bunch of cannon in the middle. More shooters, chopper. Oh yes, and the organ guns are there. And there, more shooters, some rangers in the woods. More rangers back there, probably to get a lot of nice, clear, open shots. That's going to be annoying. But it does create us some problems. Well, in fact, everything in this army creates us some problems, but that's okay. If it was easy, it wouldn't be a game. Now, I put down my big boy last, as you do, and I've got a phalanx of infantry coming up here, along with 2 of the units of flamers, which I'm managing to hide most of these from direct cannon shot, and he won't be able to blast me with anything much in the first round. From turn 2 onwards, I'm going to get shot up rather badly.
Maybe.
I put some stuff in the trees here, just for cover against organ guns, really. The cannons will get shots through. This lot's clustered over here to try and get through the gap. These guys put down last, and so were these, so I didn't know what I was going to be up against on this flank for much of my deployment. I've rolled up my spells, Law of Battle, bit of shooting, bit of urgency, the odd template. We'll see what I manage to cough up as the game progresses. I never rely on magic, which makes playing Tzeentch particularly weird, but we'll give it a go, see what we can get to happen. Now, the roll off for first turn, if you will, sir. And 2. God, that's good. 3, brilliant, and I get first turn. Well, he will shoot at me in his first turn, but hopefully I'll have a chance of actually getting to him.
No, I don't mind.
On that note, we will
come closer.
Exactly, and we'll check in at the end of Tzeentch turn 1. Alright, end of Tzeentch turn 1. We've moved up here and we've redeployed from what we're hiding behind here to hide behind this forest here, which is teeming with blue things. So we're just going to have to brave some shooting over here just to try and get around the flank and cause some consternation on Sean's part. He's going to be able to shoot at things, but they're going to be at -2. Cannons I don't have an answer for except to park bin chicken behind a building. I used some conveyance spells to move quicker, but I couldn't get shooting and the movement I wanted at the same time, because we shoot too close quarter, and I wanted to really jam these fellas up. They may just go off and do something else and accept the casualties, we'll see. Meanwhile, on this flank, we've got this ridiculous conga line coming up here, but there's only so much he's got to have a go at me with. I suspect I'm going to take some cannonballs, because that lot doesn't have much to shoot at apart from these guys. I might try and sneak one down there or into here, we'll see how we go. But that's it. I'm out of range for most of the hexes and most of my shooting. So over to Dwarf turn 1. end of Dwarf turn 2, and I'm going to flag the noise you hear in the background is the air conditioner desperately trying to sort us out in a 40-degree day. Now, these guys moved back and used throwing axes to knock a wound off of these guys. These guys did some shooting and didn't do anything. Various other shot happened. These guys reformed and shot because they can. The organ gun here got a sneaky shot past the flank of his own unit. Did nothing. A few of these guys shot and they failed to wound. Use of cover is very fucking useful, particularly at long range. Then it all rather turned to shit. Well, no, I lie. I mean, these guys did some shooting, and between them, the organ gun and these chaps, they did a grand total of 3 wounds off of this 81-point unit here. Then it turned to shit. These guys didn't do much, except the character who's got a 70 point runic weapon.
Basically 2 fireballs a turn.
Yeah, he coughs up 2 shots, no penalties whatsoever.
Yep.
2d3,
strength 4, AP 1, armor bane 1.
Yeah, he's a fucking horror show. It's going to be a problem when Big Bird here gets near there because the fucking wards don't work. Then this lot clattered away and helped polish off the remains of a unit there. Meanwhile, the cannon dumped a round over here, knocked off 1.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. And he put a cannonball through this slot, killed 2. A wound off of one of my flamers and bumped off a screamer. So, yeah, that's the problem with going through woods, is it gives the cannons a target against stuff behind the woods, which I'll be very mindful of, but I've only got so many places to hide from this fucking horror show.
You're doing a good job, and I think
I'm doing what I can.
You've split. You're trying to split the fire, but you've also split the forces. Now, whether that works or not.
Yeah, it's a gamble, but I mean, if I went up the guts, obviously I'd be dead in short order.
Absolutely.
And there's only so much room to go up either flank, because the rules are you can't have terrain within 12 inches of the middle, which we've adhered to.
You could have, yeah.
I mean, there are other things you could do, but everything's a trade-off. We'll see how this works. You're welcome to add comments as to what I could have done differently. I'm not the most cunning player.
No, you do.
I tend to see Warhammer as like a regular battle with some wonder weapons and funny-looking soldiers, which sometimes leaves me not doing the most cunning shit you can, like having a 70-point wonder weapon. You know, it's the Rock with a fucking minigun.
Basically, I want to get a model of a dwarf with an Arnold Schwarzenegger minigun, basically on a rock going.
So you got to find a dwarf and get a clatter gun from somewhere, mounted on him as a hand weapon.
If anyone's got any spare clatter guns, let just I'm more than happy to model one up. It should be quite hilarious.
I've got a spare heavy bolter lying around somewhere. You could use that.
I probably have heavy bolters lying around which I could use. Yes.
On that note, we're going to go into Demons turn 2. End of Tzeentch turn 2, we moved the conga line up here and the horrors up here, the flames up here. Look, I did try to advance the moving a bit more, but Dispel Scroll stopped that, and I tried to lay down a vortex, but a Dispel Scroll stopped that. I've got some more shooting to do. I'll sort that out in a minute because these guys can get a couple of rounds off. He's behind a building in a way where he can't get shot by a cannon without some impressive manoeuvring, I hope. I might need to adjust his position a bit, but anyway. Over here, we had some luck. I got the fireball off from this chap. Blew away 5 skirmishing rangers. We did the movement thing to get these guys up closer. They didn't hit anything though. I wasn't really expecting it, but it's worth a try. Screamers move up to here off their own merits. Sat next to the skirmishers who now fucked off, so it leaves them open to any fire if he manoeuvres over here. And we charged most of a unit of blue horrors into these guys. Didn't do any damage on the way in, but then they managed to just... I did nothing in the melee. They bumped off a couple, and the rest of the unit just said, "Fuck it, bye," and puffed off back to the bloody warp. So that was even more lame than I'd expected. I thought I'd tie him up for a turn or so and get another unit in. But no, we rolled 10 on the morale test, and there's no prospect for a reroll anywhere nearby, so that was just crap. Still, it's only 1 point unit. I wasn't expecting a lot. And that's it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. Sean will probably do some cunning manoeuvring and try and get rounds in on the birdie over here with his cannon that's magicked up so they ignore ward saves. I'm just going to do a quick bit of shooting over here, maybe bump something off if I'm lucky, and then it'll be over to Dwarf turn 2. Alright, end of Dwarf turn 2, and it was horrific for the sheer volume of fire.
Yes.
Fortunately, the dice were not favouring Sean this turn. He fired that thing at the bin chicken and didn't wound it by some miracle. Fired these guys at these chaps and bumped off one. Clattergun did some work there. The Clatterguns had a good old blat at this guy, after which I remembered there's a -1 to hit him. But a cannon advanced, because this is what they can do, they can fucking move up, and he got a shot up there and he just collected him, only barely.
Only the expeditionary cannons.
Yeah, only the expeditionary cannons can do that, and that shows the power of the things. It's really hard trying to find cover when the bastards can move and shoot you.
That's what I like about it.
Yes, and these guys had a whole lot of shots and bumped an extra wound off him as well, because that cannon landed, I think, 2 or 3
I got one
wounds.
hit, then you failed yourself.
And look, because the cannon's ruined up, my wards don't work, because they're demonic wards, and I didn't get the thing that can give you like the Oaken Shield or anything, which I can guarantee you I'll be fucking using with this shit floating around. Over here, they shot and maybe pinched a wound off or something. I think they knocked off one of the flamers.
Yeah, killed the flamers. Failed the charge here.
That's right. These guys
On a 10.
tried to charge the Screamers, which would have been actually quite dangerous for you. You would have been better off
Why?
throwing, because they're good in a fight. They're the only thing in my army is good in a fight.
Yeah, but what's your weapon skill?
That'll be 4.
You sure?
They're Sky Sharks. They're actually
I might
really good.
score
They're really
4
good.
too.
They're really good against monsters. You got 2 or 3 attacks each. That's probably one of the few fights I don't mind having. Most of the time, they get shit. Anyway, so that was that. Fired an organ gun. It needed some help to not blow up. Got a couple of rounds out.
Killed one.
Killed one. One what? Oh, that's right. One of my.
Sky Sharks did that. Well, I think you had 4 there, did you? Or did I kill it?
No,
was
no,
another
you
two.
killed,
No, I
killed that
didn't kill it.
previously. Yeah.
I
No.
rolled a misfire, remember? And
Yeah.
then you say.
Then you use the engineer, and he fucking rolled another missile.
Misfire. Yeah.
So that engineer needs to be retrained. So, I mean, it was hard. There's a lot of fire, and the casualties are starting to accrue. But it was nothing compared to what it could have been.
Yes, I agree. I think that was a pretty average round.
I mean, I'm doing my damnedest to foil the shooting, but it is hard work.
You're doing a very good job. I think you're doing an excellent job.
Well, thank you very much. I'll take your compliments and try to kill you now.
Yes, now kill me.
On that note, over to Tzeentch, turn 3.
Okay.
Turn 3 for Tzeentch just occurred. We moved up here without marching. It may have been a mistake actually. We fired off a bunch of shots. So we wanted to shoot instead of marching, and so they can always fuck off if they want to. But we didn't kill much. We killed 2, and they passed the morale. I got this guy to charge in. He didn't defeat the cannon, but he didn't. There was a tie basically. No one did anything to anyone. So yeah, we'll see. He's going to be dead soon, but he did tie up the cannon for a turn.
Yeah.
These guys turned about and shot at one of the gyros and just whiffed all over the place. Didn't do much with getting magic out. I charged this guy into this cannon. That cannon's now gone actually. We better move that. We can get rid of the cannon please. And that goes to there. And we argued about the angle because I really wanted to follow through into something else in the melee, but
Your wheel to get it's not going to happen. Sorry.
Well,
No,
that's
no.
what you're saying, and I'm agreeing, but not because I want to. I reckon I probably could have angled that better. I didn't argue the case, which is stupid. I should have. So we smashed a cannon, but I'm now going to get. He's down 4 wounds from last time. He's going to get massacred in just a moment.
Maybe.
Over here, okay, we fired a fireball at the Rangers, blasted them good before the blue guys even had to go. If I'd known that, I would have marched them, but yeah. Okay. We moved up the flamers, took some shots at these guys, didn't do much to them at all. Maybe got one, if that.
Sky Sharks had a
charged these Sky Sharks into the cannon. Yeah, the
office.
Sky Sharks fucked up 6 ways on Sunday. These ones killed one cannon crew, and then the cannon crew took a wound off them in return. That was pathetic. And then the 3 that went crashing into these guys totally fucking whiffed. I think I killed 1. They did 3 wounds to my guys, and then I rolled another 10 under morale. So my Sky Sharks, who are supposed to be a melee unit, disappeared into a puff of what the flying fuck now. So I think that kind of makes up for Sean's terrible dice rolls in shooting last turn, and my melee rolls have been an absolute debacle. Because what will happen now is his handgunners will charge these guys, save the that'll save the cannon crew basically, and that's going to ruin my day. I've still got enough things over here in order to keep the fight going, but it also means I didn't crash through into these blokes, which is what I was hoping to do with my Sky Sharks. So I went from having a pretty good run to my odds being maybe 30% instead of 50. We'll see what happens. We're into Dwarf's turn 3.
I only rolled 1-6. I rolled two wounds with all that shooting.
Alright, so it's the end of the Dwarf's turn 3, and what an interesting turn it's been. Okay, so way over there in the distance, they moved a gyrocopter, took a few shots at the Blue Horrors. These handgunners shot at the Blue Horrors. They went from about, 7 guys in that unit down to 3. They finally bumped off that Blue Horror that had been keeping him busy over there. Blue Horror? No, the what was it? Flamer.
Flamer.
Yeah, he basically gave his life for a turn in order to stop them from shooting at me, which is probably a good thing given that's an organ gun. What else happened? Okay, the things that were good for me. These guys charged the flank and it was a stalemate. That guy shot at these flamers behind the trees here and failed to kill them. These guys shot at these chaps and killed one of them, which is not great, but it could have been worse. Then the shit bit. Basically, these 2 clatter guns, that with a ball round, all of these guys, the engineer, the dude with the magical whoop-de-doo, and this thing dropped canister all at the bin chicken, and they got one
wound from the cannon. He rolled 1 wound.
Yeah, no, I think the cannon got through. He did 1 wound.
Got
He's
through,
magic.
and I only rolled. You had a small chance of surviving, and you did.
And this guy blasted with canister and topped him off.
No, it was this guy. He failed. Remember, he rolled 8 dice and failed to roll 1-6.
Oh, did he?
And then this guy finally ended up shooting you.
Ah, right, it's him.
It had to be a regular shot from the guy who got you between the ears.
Yeah, after all of that. So that's not great. That's nearly a quarter of my army just vaporized. And the bin chicken hasn't done his usual job today. Not been his most effective of fellows. But then I am up against an army which is pretty fucking wretched.
It's wretched.
I'm having to work my ass off. I could have been more conservative in how I use the bin chicken, but I thought it'd be more interesting to road test how we go hopping building to building instead of trees, which is the usual trick.
I think he worked out that he was lucky to live that long, I think.
Yeah, and look, in hindsight, I think the conservative approach is the better way to go with Tzeentch.
Much as I hate to say it, against this particular army, that would have been... It's just...
It would have been a lot smarter. I was thinking I should have put the t-shirts over here, screamers. That would have been much more sensible going up that flank, but I was hoping to overpower that flank. Then again, it would have had you doing different things. It would have changed the dynamic, but yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say. What would I have done? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, good question. Because there's things you can do with the choppers to shoot and bait over here that would have been annoying. But as it is, well, he's dead, and we'll move now to Tzeentch turn 4. End of an extremely frustrating turn 4 for Tzeentch. We charged the blue horrors in there, only to find out the clatter gun can fucking stand and shoot because it's quick to fire. That's annoying. Sean was just telling me how astounding the rules are in that bastard thing. Either way, it's still there. Nobody did any wounds on anybody. We shot a couple more guys off of there, but they stuck around. I'm going to get blasted in a moment. We did a bit of shooting with these guys here, didn't achieve anything, wasn't expecting to. Okay, we got all of the flamers into this fight. One of them took a wound off of the cannon, one took a wound off of the handgunners, and the Sky Sharks once again managed to achieve fuck all. I just rolled a shed ton of 3s to wound. Very, very frustrating, and the fireball was stopped on a wizardly dispel, I think. So yeah, I've just been rolling crap this turn. It's been really spectacularly shit. I can only hope that Sean has a shit turn as well, otherwise I'm basically cooked.
This is...
Oh yeah. And now the choppers are basically going to come and try and get this guy because they don't have anything better to do.
We better stop, otherwise we get...
Yeah, we get done for copyright. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that's what's going on. Not happy.
But
Still,
you're doing really well. I think the only thing you're just trying stuff, and it's just this is just trying.
That's
stuff.
true. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're not here to win prizes.
Yes, we are.
Well, I don't know what the fuck you're thinking the prize is. I'll give you a nice big pash on the way out the door. That'll sort you out.
Pink chicken probably. Yeah, there's 3 cannons around. You're on 4, and you've got 2
I
left.
should have used the trees. Because the thing is, once I was down here, if it all turned to shit, I didn't have a plan B. There was nowhere to go where he would have lived. So the charge against the cannon was always going to be suicide. Kill the cannon, then die.
Yes.
But that's because, like, if I'd come around here, I would have the option to throw other things at whatever came to get him.
You know,
somewhere to fall back to, basically, which I didn't.
What's going to
something
happen
to bear in mind for future.
You're fighting a really hard snake zombies.
That's right, with magic weapons, a lot of those too.
The poor bastards that you fight from now on is going to get fucked over.
Well, I fought 3 games with these before. The first one was against you, and I had no idea what I was doing wrong. And then I fought 2 against Doug, and had a better idea of what I was doing. And this can be look, it's a fragile army, and every time I go into melee, it's painful. But it's a tricky ass army. I wouldn't rely on it in any way, shape, or form, but it can be a real pain in the ass.
If you have a lot of troops. I think you have enough troops this time. For most armies, you had a terrain. Yeah, I think you could. Yeah, it's a matter of looting. I think you've only got 4 games in the level. You got a lot more games.
And look, it looks like a lot of terrain, but that thing's really just decorative. It's only 6 pieces of terrain, which is the recommended amount.
6.
Yeah, and it's just decorative. Doesn't do anything. Yeah. But the center of the table is bare. So you should be able to play like this unless the other guy is just going and stack all the terrain on the edges to give himself clear fire lanes. So
anyway,
over to Dwarf turn 4, where I think it's going to be quite painful.
We'll see what happens.
Right, so end of Dwarf turn 4, and we're going to call it. It's nearly pumpkin o'clock. So the situation is the organ gun and these guys did a little bit to the pink horrors, then these guys fired some rounds, did a bit, but then the guy who's got the 70-point magic weapon that annihilates everything in front of it just went and annihilated everything in front of him. Over here, I did nothing, and it's not surprising. Then he topped a wound off one of these guys, and I lost by 1. Rolled my leadership, so I lost a guy. So that unit's not destroyed. It's really all it's done is soak up fire. This says something about this. If you've got a movement 4 army with low toughness, this army will be a nightmare to fight against. You're going to have a lot of cheap stuff. Whereas my demons are expensive even when they're weak.
Movement spells for expensive stuff. That's what you need. Like you need to be able to move your troops up.
There's that. But to be honest with you, these guys, they had to march all the way across the table against the guys only about 8 inches away from the edge. So that is what it is. It's just worth paying attention to. Over here, we're still going in this fight. The chopper came in and bumped off a flamer. We did win this fight, but these fucking cunts just refuse to die. I've been throwing dice at them for like 3 rounds of melee now. 4 rounds of melee now.
Dwarfs are tough. Toughest 4.
Yeah, they are. I keep rolling dog shit. I know
Yes.
this pink horror's coming in, but because we've been there so long, so we beat them in our turn, which we would with the help of the pink horrors, we're just going to be sitting there to get blasted by all and bloody sundry here the next turn.
Yeah.
Now, one of the choppers did come in and it picked off my wizard on his disc.
Just.
Interesting observation here. If he'd been infantry, they wouldn't have been able to shoot at him.
Yep.
But I put him on a disc because the model is so damn cool. So the rule of cool makes him vulnerable. But you know, I have no regrets. He looks great and he moves 9 inches. That's good.
It's not entirely bad. And
Nah.
yeah.
Well, there's things you could have done. I could have done to use him differently, but then he would have been less effective and so on.
He almost died from a straight cannon shot.
That's right. He's barely alive anyway, and that's because I had to move things through the woods because I couldn't funnel everything around the woods, and that cannonball just happened to go through the woods. I don't think there's any rule anywhere that would stop a cannonball.
Except large creatures stop cannonballs if they don't
I
kill
think
them
so.
outright.
Yeah, look, woods used to stop cannonballs. They could shoot like 2 inches in, but that's going back quite a few editions. It's like 6 or some shit. So we're calling it, and I've done a few points of damage. I've annihilated 4 units. I've cut these guys
440 points
down, and
roughly.
These guys are down below half, but I've not managed to kill them off. They're only 80 points each anyway, there's handgunner units. It's a testimony to Tzeentch, right? When it works, it really works. You need the bin chicken to win a fight. Sky sharks can be lethal, but they're lousy against tough guys who only have like 1 wound each. They're really there to kill monsters at the end of the day. So it was an absolute nightmare of an army to play against, but it was also a learning curve to try and figure out how to make Tzeentch work.
I think it's good practice. Just to run. It's always good just to run through the game anyway. But it's not particularly fun.
I mean, the way I'm seeing it is I was helping Sean hone his tournament army before the tournament. And I took an army which I would actually take to a tournament. I might tweak my army a bit, but I would take it to a tournament. I wouldn't expect to win that tournament though. I'd just be there for shits and giggles. And I'm just going to come back to something you were saying. Well, there's 2 things actually. If I was playing a tournament, I would have hidden my Tzeentch dude behind the trees and done the usual things instead of road testing going between the buildings. But then Sean's responses would have been different. So there probably would have been a whole different stack up of stuff facing this flank rather than taking on the bin chicken here and having to face down as much stuff over here. So it would have been a very different game. I probably would have got a few more points, but it doesn't mean I would have won. Sean, what were you saying about why you're taking this list?
Because everyone else is going to take a really hard army to the tournament and dragons and stuff, and even I might as well take something hard as well. So they're going to take real fast lists, is what you were saying.
So the tournament scene is wretched in terms of the lists people take.
Not entirely wretched, but it's if you take a dragon in a list, it's very difficult to kill if you don't have a dragon yourself or something.
Yeah. I was saying to Sean that don't ever take this list here again. But now he's taunting me saying, well, the dragon might do well against it. And he's probably right. I have Dark Elf and Wood Elf armies which both have things in them which might have an okay run against this army. But there's a lot in this army which will ruin my fucking day as well. I need to have a dragon. I need to have a few other things to try and fight in as well. I don't really fancy my odds, to be honest. I might do it. We'll see how we go. We're heading into the silly season. We should do silly games.
And I mean, I can take lists which are just all goblins and stuff, and I don't mind this game because I took a list with nothing but goblins, and it did okay against a Star Dragon, a Griffin, and a Frost Phoenix.
Yep.
Had my Goblin Fanatics not run through me 3 times and failed to kill, something like 1 wound left, it would have been a draw.
I think it'll dwarf. In fact, I'm planning on doing a Night Goblin army at some point, a couple of years probably from now, because I've got a few other things to do in the meantime. But there's a reason that night goblins can win.
Oh, they can. And I took I didn't take 18 fanatics. I took 8 fanatics, which is a lot. But I know I've got a lot of. Did I take any artillery? I took 2 pieces of artillery and some fanatics and mostly night goblins and some war boys, some war chariots. I think you did okay. But yeah, I took two doom divers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's anyway. This is pretty horrible. So I'm gonna ask for volunteers to play against it, just so they can experience the nightmare it can perhaps bring. It's pretty tough.
I knew I was in for it when I selected this list because I was coming up with some ideas. I was wondering whether to do this or one of the dragon lists. So I thought, you know what, this is my new army. I want to play it before I get plenty of use out of it before I've got another army and my attention gets divided again. So I knew I was going to be up against ruined up cannons, and that would be a problem. And that other character with this wacky thing. But you know, it's a challenge. I wasn't here to win a championship. I thought I'd give things a crack.
Yes, you were.
No, well, I try to win. Obviously, I'm not fucking pussyfooting around. But you know, it's like playing a video game on the hard setting. You know you're going to have a bit of a frustrating moment here or there, but you do it for the challenge, right?
Yeah, and it gives you some ideas when you fight against an army with less shooting.
Yeah.
You can go, well, I know what that will do to me, and you know what you can take and what you cannot take. So it's experience, and it's bad experience, but for future reference, it'll give you some what you'll know better what to do next time you come up against, and that's one of the reasons why.
And look, to be honest with you, the only thing I would have done different was swap out where I positioned my general for where I positioned one of the units of t-shirts.
Yes.
And I would have put less guys in the woods.
In the woods?
Yeah, I would have gone behind the woods.
Hi.
Because I didn't like crowding it too much, so I thought I'd do a mixture of both. But yeah, it was a bit silly. Just fucking around and trying different things. But anyway, on that note, it's late. Tomorrow's a work day, so we're going to pack it in. So thanks for watching. Feel free to hit like, subscribe. Tell me all the things I do wrong or what I could possibly do against this fucking horrendous list to fight it again. And yeah, otherwise, time to call it a night.